a dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning get you ready for grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so your grill can look and perform its best. Visit their website at huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It pays to participate in LES Peak Rewards. You can earn a $25 gift card when you enroll your qualified smart thermostat in the program. Help curb electric demand and sign up today at les.com/peak rewards.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. This is Old School, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Special ingredient butcher shop with 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. You can check out their selections online at themercadobutcher.com or at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, or 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln. You can also hit up 160th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. In fact, friends, let's do this. Let's get you set up for Fired Up Friday. Let's see what we got. Fired Up Friday. I hope this is tomorrow's. Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow at the 84th and Havelock location, 4841 North 84th Street. Burnt ends banh mi. How about that? $17. You get smoked end brisket, pickled carrot and daikon, cucumber jalapeno, roasted shallot mayo on a hoagie, served with chips for $17. Make it an entree with a drink, just $1 more at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese on North 84th Street, 84th and Havelock. Highly recommend you get out there starting at 11 a.m. It is first come, first serve. If they sell out, you are out of luck. Take an early lunch tomorrow. Get your burnt ends banh mi at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Special ingredient butcher shop with every type of meat and every type of cut. Jay Foreman will be along here momentarily, but until then, we're holding down the fort on your drive time. Hope you had a good day at work. Hope you're looking forward to your Friday. Tomorrow should be a beautiful Mother's Day weekend. If you don't have a gift, make sure you stop into Myers Cork and Bottle. Get that simple bottle of wine, a white, a red, a hybrid, maybe mom's not a wine drinker. Maybe mom goes for some bourbon, some whiskey, some beer, whatever it is. Myers Cork and Bottle has you covered. 13th and South. Stop in there today. Get there before Sunday, certainly. Tell them on the block. Tell them Old School sent you. Kevin Meyer will absolutely hook you up. The Kansas City Royals hooked it up today. A 10-0 win for the boys in blue over the Chicago White Sox. Everyone ate. Well, everyone except I'm pretty sure it was just Hunter Renfroe was the only starter without a hit for the Royals. It was just Hunter Renfroe who went 0 for 4. But other than that, Jonathan India go 2 for 4 with a walk. He scored 3 runs. Bobby Witt Jr., his batting average up to 325, his on-base percentage up to 392. He went 4 for 5 with 2 doubles, 2 runs driven in, 2 stolen bases, and 2 runs scored. Vinny Pasquantino, Salvador Perez had 2 hits. Michael Garcia, a 2-run triple. Michael Massey gets his batting average back up over the Mendoza line with a couple of hits today. Even Drew Waters, 2 hits and a couple runs for him on the day. 17 hits for the Royals on their way to 10 runs. Chris Bubich was masterful yet again. 7 shutout innings, struck out 7, only walked 1, only allowed 6 hits to the Chicago White Sox. The Royals' rotation ERA right now, 2.93. Tracking to be the best in club history. It's nice to see the Royals get a definitive win after a couple games that got a little hairy for the Royals. The first game of the series back on Monday, a 3-0 Royals win. Offense wasn't elite. Offense did enough. Seth Lugo absolutely dealt in that one. So the Royals were never in any real danger. They keep Chicago at arm's length from the middle portion of the game on. Game 2 a couple nights ago, certainly drama-filled. Kansas City trailed in that one. They had a rally going in the 8th inning and the 9th inning. There was a pop fly off the glove and the head of second baseman Chase Mydroff. Royals would end up tying the game in that inning, leading to a Bobby Witt Jr. walk-off sacrifice fly. Then last night, Royals get out to a 2-0 lead. Bobby Witt Jr., a 2-run home run. He's starting to find his power again as we start getting closer to summer. 2-run home run for Bobby Witt Jr. Royals needed it as Carlos Estevez comes in, and must be something about facing bad teams for Estevez, who blew a save against the Rockies. Royals came back, bailed him out. They end up winning that game. We'll get back to that here in just a second. But then last night, Estevez gets in trouble. I think it was 3 straight hits to open the inning, gets the White Sox on the board, but he pitches out of the jam, gets a couple of strikeouts in there to end the game. So the Royals, through the first 3 games of the series, had outscored the White Sox 9-4, but just 6-4 over the 2 most recent games. So good to see the boys play some ball, put up a 10 spot on the Chicago White Sox here today, dropping the White Sox to 10-28 overall. Not good for the White Sox, who continue to be a stain on the AL Central, a surprisingly competitive division. When you look at the standings, though, the White Sox aren't the worst team in baseball. They're 10-28, which is certainly an affront, only a 263 winning percentage. But, friends, we still have a team that's not to double-digit wins, and we're 36, 37 games into the year. That's the Colorado Rockies. The Colorado Rockies are 6-30 right now. They are 18.5 games back of the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are 4-13 at Coors Field. They are 2-17 away from home. They have scored only 114 runs in 36 games. They've allowed 213, which, if you're doing math at home, a run differential of minus 99. Let's bring him in. Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. Welcome to Old School.
What's going on?
That's what I was going to ask you. What's on your mind? What are we talking about?
Man, you know what? I mean, obviously the Nick Saban thing. He's going to be part of the commission. It's a sneaky way. I mean, he's probably going to be the commissioner, which is fine. Even if he's on a board, the guy everybody's going to respect is him. I mean, he just has that presence, and also he's earned it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think more importantly, the college football as a whole is changing. And here's what's funny: the FCS kind of pushed the FBS to get to the college football playoff. Well, now the FBS has shown to, I guess, create more hype, and also I think the trickle down effect from athletes going down there with the transfer portal. Now they're going to 12 regular season games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of it has to do with when you start the season, how many Saturday nights and all that. Well, money talks. And then that means rules change, because of the Big Ten. Remember, they used to not have any night games. And well, now you got night games. You got playoff games that are going to be at night. And those are the ones because you want more.
Even the Rose Bowl changed.
Right. And you want more eyes on it and make it must-see TV. But I think it's interesting that the FCS had a playoff system and Division III. My brother played in the Division III National Championship, I think, once or twice at St. Thomas. And they – that was something that was on the back burner. Then that influenced the big boys. Now the big boys are like, hold on.
Wait a minute.
Maybe you need to play 12 regular season games. How about that? Since you think you're so slick, right? You make us do something. So I think it's interesting how quick college football, especially college football, has changed. Because just in the last month, just say over when Nebraska was in spring football, you had the 105, and I thought, I don't know for sure. I think first of all, Nebraska's spring was a little bit later, but the guys that jumped in the portal quicker or early was based on the assumption that you got to find a spot for the 105.
Yeah.
So say I was at Georgia Tech, right? And I was a guy that came in as, say, a 3-star recruit, and I was okay, but I needed to develop or whatever, and stuck behind a couple guys in the portal. Well, it might not work out here. I got to get in the portal so I can find a secure, not a 105, let's say not a 90 to 105 spot. You need to transfer to get in that
at least 50 to 75.
Right. I was going to say 55 to 75 spot. You might not be starting, but you're playing with the true opportunity next spring to start. Well, now you might be at those places that you might not really want it to be, and you left the place that you actually really wanted to be. And if they grandfather, say 120 this year, and then they go to 115, 110, now you're kind of stuck a little bit.
The problem is a loose term here. I wonder, Jay, if this is going to be kind of like the COVID eligibility, where if you were a player that committed in this class, you're good for 4 years. And the roster limit means you have to get down to 105 after every player from this class.
Or they're exempt.
So
you could have a roster of 105 guys outside. Well, heck, now you can, that'd be great. So, I mean, if I'm thinking walk-ons and guys on scholarship for those years are exempt, you could really build a team pretty fast. Because then you're just going to get 105 new guys. Now it's going to be expensive, but still, you think about that. You could really, really take your time to develop some guys, or guys that, can find their way in college football. So it's going to be interesting to see when that comes out. But then so that was a big deal at the beginning of spring. Everybody's waiting. Okay, it's coming this week. Well, then the judge said, go back, get it back to, get right back. They came back. No, it's not. figure it out or it's done, right?
Right.
Well, let's just say it just is done and it goes back to what it originally was last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, think about this. Say you were a kid that transferred with the assumption that you weren't going to make the 105, or you were told, we have to plan for the 105 right now. Do you get it? You can transfer. Can you transfer back and not lose eligibility? You get what I'm saying? So, heck, if they petition for JUCO years not to count. Anything.
And it's worked half the time.
And there was even talk that Shador Sanders was going to be able to petition to go back and play college football because of, or just go back to improve his draft stock. And that maybe it would have happened or maybe it wouldn't have, but everything's on the table now, including 12 regular season games at FCS.
Yeah.
Which,
so on the one hand, is about time. That's good enough football.
It's better than a good enough football. I think it's really good football. I think it's one thing I've come to appreciate is you're starting to see some more linemen come out of there. I mean, heck, you had your North Dakota State, Zabel, who's, for a guy to go from North Dakota State, which is close enough to Power 4 as you could be at that level, and go down there and handle business, and he's a surefire day one starter. The plethora of South Dakota State guys that have went. Sam Houston is a really good program. And
Montana State's coming up.
State,
Montana here and there.
Yeah, so
Cam Ward started at Incarnate Word, for Pete's sake.
Right, and so
James Madison used to be.
And a lot of skill position corners, slot receivers, receivers go to places that you don't really hear about because they go and say to Louisville or somewhere like that. So I think the depth of big players, fast players isn't there, but their top level is there. Well, you got to think, man, Indiana built their roster with guys from FCS.
Yeah.
So it can be done, but I think it's a great snapshot into college sports in the sense of, or football in particular, how things are changing. I mean, first it was last year where you had, Stanford and all those guys joining predominantly East Coast conferences, right? You had and on the basketball front, you had USC's head coach, what's his last, that left
Enfield. Andy Enfield.
Andy Enfield leaves USC to go to SMU for obviously better NIL support, but a better basketball conference in school. Potentially, right? Big 12, right?
SMU's in the ACC.
Or ACC, or ACC, excuse me. But I'm thinking Big 12 because they're in Dallas.
Right. Which, quick plug very quickly, going to talk about a lot of ACC. They went to 18 conference games, down from 20 effective this year.
Right.
And so what would that look like for the Big 10? I'm talking about that tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So stay tuned.
So it's like all these moves are made on either assumptions or money. And we just talked about 5 things, and it hasn't even been a calendar year, essentially, right? And so here we are now with FCS. That doesn't really move the needle in our country as far as like the Big 10, but it does in the whole landscape of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a player, that could possibly go to North Dakota State, South Dakota State, and really go there and be the big guy on campus and get a nice little NIL deal and security. Well, or if you're a kid coming out of high school, go there. We just seen it. Sharp Brown did his thing.
Right.
So it's slowly but surely, and the NFL's done it right. They had NFL Europe, said it cost too much. Even though we got a ton of great football. It was great football. We're not going to have a minor league. It's minor league is college or Power 4. Then a little bit below that is like Group of 5. Right, either I think even with that or a little below is FCS. This is their minor league.
Yeah.
And then now you have a true offset little brother or cousin in the UFL. Right. By great coaches and they have their own little deal. So they kind of slowly but surely got there. They just got there the way they wanted, and they're just sitting back and just saying,
well, they got there kicking and screaming. They got dragged there. They didn't exactly love it.
They got to the mountaintop and said, no, we like it up here the way we do things. We're going to expand over to the horizons overseas and down in Mexico City and all that. Right. We'll just watch you guys really fall for the banana in the tailpipe with this NIL stuff. And you guys have no regulation, no salary cap, and then eventually you'll just be like us. Because really, now that they don't have a salary or they have salaries now essentially for players, you just essentially became minor league NFL overnight.
Yeah.
You remember at the beginning of NIL, they were like, "Oh, what about graduation?" I thought they were student athletes, and I remember I used to call them. I said, "Listen, man, you get recruited because you play football.
You're recruited as the athlete.
I'm coming here to play football and to go to school, but I'm here to play football first."
The Cardale Jones, right?
No,
You ain't go to school to play school.
Right, but I'm saying this in the sense of, my dad he said, "Look, don't come home with a stupid education or without an education."
Mm-hmm.
So I knew what the deal was, and plus Dennis LeBlanc and Keith over there and Kim Shelper, they're still over there. They do phenomenal job. And Coach Osborne, I think every coach that's been here, and obviously including Matt Rule, you're held accountable to go to school, to actually physically go to the classes that you're supposed to. You're supposed to do your work.
Mm-hmm.
So this is great.
Do your work like you did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And have good friends.
Mm-hmm.
One of my best friends helped me get through business school. I said, "Listen, this is what we need to do." Okay.
It's not about you. It's not about me.
Yeah,
it's about we.
Said, "Listen,
the
man,
collective.
We are playing for a national championship. We. But we,
like we're friends."
I said, "Listen, in order for me to handle what we got to do, we got to handle this." I said, "Austin, we got to handle this class right now." And but all jokes aside, I'm gonna tell you this though. One of my best friends or better friends, I met him in the dorms, but one of the best dudes I ever met, I'll say it, Ryan Zussman. We used to be in business law together, and it was the coolest class. It taught me a lot about
business
everything,
and law, hopefully.
Everything. Yeah, it was. I you know what? Even though it sucked because I think it was on Tuesday nights. That was one of the hardest practices. And coach, and you didn't back then. You didn't want to leave practice, so you had to finish practice. Sometimes it went long. Lift, eat, shower, busted across campus for like a 2.5-hour class. But I'm gonna tell you, I looked forward to it though, because I learned a lot. I had great, students in there. We had great groups and stuff, and met one of my really good friends, and I know him from the dorms, but we were in it in the same class, and then met some other friends that I'm still friends with now in school.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a benefit, and there should be an emphasis. It should be emphasized that you got to go to school, but make no mistake about it. When I woke up in the morning, I'm thinking about football. When I walking around campus, I'm thinking about football. When I go to bed at night, I'm thinking about football.
When you're sitting in class, you're thinking about how we need to pass this class so we can think about football.
There was only one class that I needed to call in my relief pitcher, and Mario Rivera came in like a champion. So all he did, I wasn't in there cheating. He just helped me. He just helped me learn how to study.
Mm-hmm.
And
we all need friends like that.
Yeah, and so but let's be honest. We talk about the change and this whole thing of football. Remember, I was thinking about it. Just remember when the federal judge came down and said you can market yourself, and all the players say, "Okay, my name is so and so. I'm a tight end at Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
You can contact me for NIL opportunities." Collectives weren't even around then.
No.
Then you got collectives. Well, you're not gonna have any money. Then Texas A&M jumped out they jumped out the gate with that recruiting class,
mm-hmm.
and then everybody's like, "Oh,
it's on."
Right. Then also, speaking of Nick Saban, before we go to break, him and Oates were essentially calling their donors to the carpet that we need more support.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got collectives.
Yeah.
You remember they had it like a...
Well, that was right after he called out Jimbo for his $30 million recruiting class.
Right. And then they got together, right? They said, "Listen, we need to keep up."
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like a Q&A, but when Nick Saban wants to get a point across, he getting it across somehow, some way, and it went viral. And now they're in pretty good shape, where Alabama is a powerhouse in basketball of all things. Long way away from Robert Horry playing down there. Big shot Bob down there, when it was just essentially just him and a bunch of, not want to say nobody, but just regular guys. Now they got, lottery picks and everything out of Wazoo. So a lot has changed. A lot will change.
Antonio McDyess, was he an Alabama guy?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. He was good. He was cold.
Did Latrell Sprewell go to Alabama?
Oh, that's the Spinners. That's the Spinners. The original with riding spinners, Latrell. They had players down there.
Incredible.
And so, in short, though, I just think in 2 weeks, college football, I have another thing come out. And then it'll be something else before two-a-days or fall camp or whatever. And then it'll kind of settle down. And then about 2/3 way through the season, like, oh yeah, let's float this out there on a Friday and let people, chew on this. You know what it's gonna?
It's gonna be the Friday before the college football playoff rankings.
Or it's gonna be a slow. Like, there's not gonna be a lot of big games on the schedule. Let's just throw this out there so they have something to talk about, in between quarters. You know what I'm saying? And it'll, just think if they say, you know what, now you have one-time transfer during the season.
I'm finding this week during break.
Yeah,
we're calling our shot. That's what we're doing.
And it's gonna be in 2 years. Here's my prediction. In 2 years, 3 at the most, let's just say 4 at the most, because I like even numbers. You will be able to transfer schools during the year. And then, you know what they'll say? You know what they'll say, Austin? Oh, you just only lose 10% of your credits. And I'll take a couple online classes.
Caught up.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'll start paying teachers. Hey, man, it's cold up here in Nebraska. You ever been to Hawaii? No? You about to go. I got an A. Anyway, man, I'm just joking. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, old school to new school way. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Rashawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th, and overall registration goes through May 30th.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
It pays to participate in LES Peak Rewards. You can earn a $25 gift card when you enroll your qualified smart thermostat in the program. Help curb electric demand and sign up today at les.com/peak rewards.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Memorial Day is coming up quickly, and you know what that means. Grilling season. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? A dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning get you ready for grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so your grill can look and perform its best. Visit their website at huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
The goal for those coming on the road, let's go get that first. And then here's what'll happen. There'll be you'll kind of be lackadaisical. Instead of keeping that energy, why not instead of keeping that energy, you'll probably see just a little bit more ease of play, because in the psyche, we did what we came to do.
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. Another beautiful day here. The thing's about, let me see what it says here. 78 degrees, no wind. So you better enjoy these days, man. Because you get 80 degrees and 80 mile an hour and winds in Nebraska. But, college football is crazy, man. It's just, changing all the time. And college sports is changing. And, the NIL stuff is you want these kids to take the best advantage as they can, because, what will not happen for majority of these kids, if you do not make it to the NFL and then perform substantially, you won't make this type of money in your life for a very long time,
if ever.
In doing this a little bit of work, this amount of work, because just say you make $1 million in college, right? Playing whatever sport, whether is it the gymnast in LSU? What's their last name? Dunn.
Liffey Dunn.
Dunn, or whatever you do. You could be Paul Skeens or whatever his name is. The pitcher, he wasn't getting paid that much, but he's the best. But that's their boyfriend, right?
Well, Quinn Ewers, right? Back in the day, one of the first.
Yeah, he was the first one left.
Yeah,
and he got signed with an energy drink, right? Christian
kombucha.
Energy, or kombucha. He better not have a bad gut. He got all that kombucha, or whatever it is, right? You're getting paid $1 million with no expectations and no obligations, except for I'm here. I'm here. I'm blessing you with my presence. Now, granted, if you don't play well, you won't probably make that $1 million next year, right?
Well, depends on your age, right? If you're a senior and you don't play that well, you won't.
Yeah.
But if, let's say, you get that money as a sophomore, okay, you play well as a sophomore, you get that money going into your junior year, you don't play well. Oh, guess I'm not going to the draft. Someo's going to pay me for my potential. So I'm still going to be a splash.
Somebody's going to be dumb enough to give it to you.
Yeah.
Plus, the money will go. Okay, so just say you make for that year, you make $1 million. Then you in the pros making that money. The cost or the hour of input per hour is essentially way higher in the league. So so what you're making per work hour is less, if I'm explaining it right. So here's what I mean. So in college, they have that 20 hours a week. I surpass that in 2 days in the pros, right? So it's 20 hours a week plus a game. So let's say 23 hours. Let's say 24
Well,
hours.
it's a full-time job.
Well, in the pros, but in college, let's just say it's 20 hours a week that you can meet, practice, lift, all that. Whether it's bending the rules or not, just say it's 20. Then you say it's 4 hours for the game. So it's 24 hours a week.
One day.
You surpass that in a day and a half. Peyton Manning surpassed that, I guarantee you, in 2 days. In the first 2 days that I started preparing for the game and all this stuff, it was way past that. And I'm talking about on the paper obligation in the league on top of what I did outside of it.
Right.
Studying, lifting, training before and after practice. So that's the biggest adjustment to him, because if you aren't really invested in trying to maximize that paycheck in college, you're in for a world of hurt when you get to the league.
Because that's not a habit you can just pick up.
No.
Right. That's where I'm a little concerned with a guy like Anthony Richardson. Right. You have to learn how to be a professional. Sure, there's normal growth and maturity. But if you're not picking up those skills, showing tendencies of that in high school, and then you're handling your business in college where you earn that money now, then you get to the pros and you don't know how to handle business.
Well, Anthony Richardson is possibly a more tightened up version of Jamarcus Russell without the outside influences of your so-called friends and family. But I think
thanks for putting that on me. Really appreciate that.
No, I mean in the sense of a very, very small sample size.
Yeah.
Extremely strong arm and athletic ability. Obviously, Anthony Richardson is a way better athlete, but Jamarcus Russell, remember
back in the day,
they said he threw it 80 yards from his, on one knee or whatever. Right. Okay, so that's next level potential. But a small sample size that's where I make it the comparable, right? But if you're not and this is without NIL. I'm sure you got paid down at LSU, but without true NIL. One with NIL. Well, both of them are facing the same problems for them. Knowing how to work, knowing when to work, knowing how to work efficiently. And also the biggest lesson is doing what you want to do versus doing what you have to do.
Well, the support systems around them. For Marcus, it was family.
Right.
For Anthony Richardson, Colts aren't exactly a model organization, right?
And he was kind of like a one-year wonder. Because you got, when they played Utah, I was like, this dude's all right. He's okay.
Utah probably should have won that game, too.
Right. But then 3 weeks later, you see like Mel Kiper, and it's like, this dude could be the number one pick. I'm like, I just watched him 3 weeks ago.
Right.
I felt like the Utah quarterback, Ken Wright actually just retired. So unfortunately for him, he doesn't get
Fare thee well.
He doesn't get a 10th year in college. He was a really good quarterback, but so that's where they really run into trouble. And I think Jamarcus Russell's problem is getting drafted by the Raiders. If he went to Pittsburgh or somewhere with a really good owner, that was invested in him, even you could say Dallas, that's not going to let him fall on his face. And they had a horrible locker room at the Raiders. They had no structure, and he had no support, like no veteran presence to really get him going.
Here's your 2007 NFL draft. Jamarcus Russell, number 1. Megatron went number 2.
That's a Hall of Famer.
Joe Thomas went number 3.
Another one.
Gaines Adams, number 4 to Tampa.
He was a DN, right?
Yes. Levi Brown to Arizona. Laron Landry. Man, the Redskins.
He was good until he had to be on steroids. Remember how big he got?
Huge.
Was that the Colts? He went there?
Yeah, eventually. Adrian Peterson, number 7.
There you go.
Jamal Anderson, number 8.
Nope.
Ted Ginn, 9.
Ted Ginn is a perfect example of getting in the right place that knows how to use your skill set, and then it added 8 years to his career.
Amobi Okoye went 10th to Houston. Patrick Willis went 11th to San Fran.
There he is.
Marshawn Lynch, 12th.
Another Hall of Famer,
to Buffalo.
Potentially.
Our own Adam Carricker, 13th to the Rams.
Yeah.
Darrelle Revis to the Jets at 14.
Another Hall of Famer.
Lawrence Timmons to Pittsburgh. Justin Harrell to Green Bay. Jarvis Moss to Denver. Leon Hall. But the next quarterback taken, Jay, was Brady Quinn, all the way down at number 22 by Cleveland.
That's that Cleveland crew. I forgot.
Oakland didn't do Jamarcus Russell any favors. Cleveland certainly didn't help Brady Quinn,
Yeah,
who
didn't
never
have
looked the
nobody.
part of an
Yeah.
NFL quarterback. And those were your only 2 first-round quarterbacks that year.
A big shout. Lawrence Timmons was cold-blooded, man. Ruthless as a linebacker. Florida State, hey, Austin was sitting, he was sitting linemen down. All right.
Okay.
And for a brother to go from Florida to Pittsburgh, he was cold-blooded. But yeah,
So some other draft picks at the end of that round. Dwayne Bowe went 23rd. You had Robert Meacham, 27th. Joe Staley, 28th.
That's a lineman, right?
Tackle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He actually outperformed all these other guys.
Greg Olson went 31st.
That's another dude.
To the Bears.
Hey.
And United States Representative Anthony Gonzalez was drafted by the Colts, 32nd overall.
You guys just messed up. You guys messed up the draft. You guys got 2 busts. Hey, Greg Olson, I met him when he got drafted. They flew him into Chicago. I was on a layover, met him, and he was the nicest dude, man. I mean, we broke the ice. I said my dad went, and the funny thing about it, the Miami players, they know their history.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they're all the players are always down there, but yeah, he's now look at him.
When I think of Miami tight ends, I don't think of Greg Olson.
You think of Jeremy Shockey.
I think of Jeremy Shockey.
but Greg Olson is the best one.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Well, because the reason why you think of Jeremy Shockey, and then you think of Kellen Winslow, because they're the two most outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
But the best ones were Greg Olson, and you know who else was sneaky good? My man Bubba Franks.
Bubba's a Miami guy?
Yeah.
No way.
The king of the tight end delay 7 cut. Hey, he would have 10 touchdowns on 14 catches.
Efficiency.
Yeah,
that's efficient.
Because they would fake play action pass to Amon Green and William Henderson, and he would sneak up their touchdown. But Miami had some really good.
And Brandon Jackson was there for a while.
Yeah,
other Nebraska guy.
Green Bay. He was a good player too, especially in college. I mean, when you think about the draft, generally people judge it on the number 1 pick. But you look at the rest of that first round, there's probably 8, 9 already Hall of Famers, and Marshawn Lynch, I think, eventually will get in. There's some other guys that are, think about Patrick Willis going to 11.
Yeah.
And those type of guys. So draft is a crapshoot, but like we were talking about with NIL and these guys that I think I would just wish you could get these guys to see in front of, and it's probably hard, 18, 19 years old, and I'm not a doctor, but I'm sure their brains aren't developed to really live in reality. I mean, you got to think, man. I had a pretty cool text, I think, from Kenny Wilhite. He sent me this thing of a picture of they had an old milk carton, when we were in middle school, grade school, and they used to have these square pizzas when you get school lunch.
I'm familiar. Yeah,
that was my favorite day, especially one that had either the sausage or bacon on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, all the just like nostalgia. Well, you got to think. That's what I went from in high school. Like that was my lunch.
Mm-hmm.
To come in, say if I came to Nebraska and they're giving me even 100,000 and I got a car and stuff, right? I wouldn't know how to live in reality. I was like, man, you know what?
Man, I get 3 pieces of that pizza today.
Right. Exactly. Matter of fact, you know what I mean?
Make it 4.
I would say pizza's for everybody. But when I think about it though, like if I really came into this, like, first of all, I thought I was a bad dude in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I got humbled quick. I don't know if you could have listen. If I came out of like skinny mini out of Eden Prairie High School, 6'3", 189 pounds or whatever, thought that it doesn't matter who you are. You lucky. It's just a matter of time before I take your spot, right? And I was getting paid. Oh, Coach Osborne wouldn't have got me in the weight room for 2 years. He wouldn't have got me in the weight room.
Not happening.
Yeah, he would have came in there. Yeah, Jay, Mike Arthur and Boy said you just come in here and you walk right out the weight room and said you haven't been completed a workout in 2 or 3 weeks. I looked at him. I did tell him it was natural. I'll say, listen, check, please. That's what I was saying. Check, please. I would have had a workout bonus in there. I said, you got to pay me to work out. So even though I'm saying this, I'll say it to the flip side before we go to break. nobody cares. And I learned this, man, from my man. Shout out Lloyd Parker. Matter of fact, and we're going to end the show on how I met Lloyd Parker. But Lloyd Parker told me, nobody cares what is going on. They only look at your paycheck. Right? Because they were talking about guys holding out, whatever. That was big when people, used to get shunned for holding out for more money in the NFL. And we were talking. Well, now we're paying you. Say we're paying you to come in as a shooting guard, Austin. We're paying you $2 million. I'm paying you not to think like an 18-year-old. I'm paying you because you're special.
Accelerate your timeline.
Right.
Speed up that development.
So like I said, we talked about let's find a good way to do bad business. That's part of it. So I'm paying you because if I want you to be a regular 18-year-old, then I'm going to pay you like a regular guy that comes in here. I'm paying you to be better. And that's the difference. And that's the hard part because I doubt mentally they're there, but reality, that paycheck.
You got to get there.
Sometimes we got to force you to get there. But I'm making sure that that check is clearing. Now I got to make sure that you clear out the pathway for this running back or whatever we need to do. But anyways, we're going to come back, take a quick break, come back. We're going to talk about my man, Lloyd Parker, who played basketball at Kansas State. And that's how we met. And it's the funniest story ever. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you a fan of local wine, craft beer, cider, or spirits? Don't miss SIP Nebraska's 12th anniversary celebration, May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park, and join others who share your passion for great drinks. Enjoy unlimited tastings, live music, delicious food, artisans, and lawn games as you celebrate Nebraska's vibrant beverage industry. And when you find one you love, you can buy a bottle to take home. Choose your ticket package at sipnebraska.com. The SIP Nebraska Spring Festival, a Blur event, May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park in Ashland.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
It pays to participate in LES Peak Rewards. You can earn a $25 gift card when you enroll your qualified smart thermostat in the program. Help curb electric demand and sign up today at les.com/peak rewards.
Roses are red, violets are blue. You should treat mom to some barbecue. At Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, we think award-winning moms deserve award-winning barbecue without having to lift a finger. We invite you and your family to gather around our table on Mother's Day for Hog Wild slow smoke favorites, or place an order to go online at gohogwild.com for a spring picnic where mom is the guest of honor. We look forward to seeing you this Mother's Day. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends Friday, May 16th.
See Home Club for details.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School and New School way. Just talking about one of my good friends that I met in Charlotte named Lloyd Parker. Lloyd is no longer with us. Had a strong battle with cancer, but when I met him, and it was living in Charlotte through a mutual friend, a lot of football players in the offseason would play basketball. And so me and him would, we played basketball, and he played at Kansas State. Really good dude, man. Funny. And so he's a little bit older. I think he played at Kansas State like in the late 80s. So he's a little bit older was a little bit older. And so we're out there. I'll never forget, we're on the golf course. We're having a good time. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, you football players always think you guys can play basketball. Because I was telling him like what I could do to him on the basketball court. And he's a big dude, man. He's big and stuff. And he said, man, he's like, after college, I went to go play pros and came back. I was living up in Minneapolis. And he's like, man, I was living in Bloomington, but we used to always play at Crosstown. And that's, and that's where, I used to hoop and train.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, familiar.
Mm-hmm.
That's where, Kevin Lynch, Kevin Lynch, if you listening, that young boy rose up on you. Rose up on you. Hey, surprise. Bammed on him. He was with the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte Hornets did. I gave slam bam Alakazam.
You gave him that stinger.
Yeah, oh yeah, I gave him some business. But anyways, Lloyd was like, yeah, man. He's like, man, them old Vikings used to be up in there, and me not even putting two and two together because I'm still like active in the NFL. And Lloyd was always at this time, in really good shape. No big deal. And he's like, yeah, man, these old Vikings used to play, man. I'm thinking he was thinking like Chris Carter, because I played, Chris Carter's a really good basketball player, like really good basketball player.
Not shocking.
And, he taught me my first lesson of big boy basketball in training camp. Because I just got back from AAU, and he's like, oh, you think you're good? And like, listen, I could not get a shot off. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, these old Vikings would be up there. He's like, yeah, he's like, man, they had this really good running back, man. This old dude, Chuck Foreman, used to come up there and think he could play. He's like, I shut him down. So me, Lloyd, and Daryl are on the tee box. And Daryl starts laughing, like start hyping it up.
Uh-huh.
And Lloyd was like confused. And Daryl was like, that's his dad, right?
And I was like, no, I didn't know.
It was awkward silence. And I just started laughing. Because I remember when my dad used to go up there, he put his knee brace on, have his high tops, and I'm thinking like, dang, Lloyd was up there to give my dad the work.
Did you ever get your dad's side of the story about Lloyd Parker?
Nah, he didn't remember. My dad could hoop though. But Lloyd could at that time he could still play. So I'll take Lloyd. But the funny thing is he was talking junk about it. But I had hung out with Lloyd and he just hadn't put two and two together. But Lloyd, everybody thinks I talk junk. Lloyd Parker talked more mess on the golf course, like in the gym, than anybody. So I know for a fact he's talking noise. Because Lloyd he want to go up against my dad to say that, I beat up Chuck Foreman.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what he said in so many words that you can't say on the radio.
Okay, outside of Lloyd Parker, your top 3 trash talkers you ever competed against, whether it was professionally, college, or just rec league or getting run in. Best trash talkers.
Oh, that is Isaac Bruce. I chased him off the field. And he wasn't even talking to me. He was talking to my man Rayon. Big shout out to Rayon, though. He's Jamie Foxx's stunt double. The other one I would say is Terrell Buckley.
Okay.
I think it was Terrell Buckley. Well, I think it was Terrell Buckley. Oh no, Corey Sawyer. That's who it was, because he played for the Vikings, and he was with Cleveland. Man, he talked so much junk to me on field goal protection. You know what I'm saying?
Of all things.
And then he just I don't know, he must have had it out for me or something.
Florida State guy.
Yeah. Just woofing the whole scrimmage, 3 days.
On field goal.
But no, he'd be watching us on defense. They split the field in half, so our defense against their offense down here. So he'd be down there talking junk to me, and I'd be talking back to him. So bad I started watching one-on-ones, and I was over there. Eric Moles was giving him work. So Eric Moles had my back. Corey Sawyer talked a lot of junk. And I think he's the dude that Trent Dilfer ran over up there in the NFL films. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. I think it's him. Couldn't happen to a better
UAB's
dude.
finest.
Yeah, Corey Sawyer and Isaac Bruce. There's other guys too, but they.
Did you ever get to witness Kevin Garnett talking live?
Oh, he used to play at Crosstown.
Oh, nice.
He's the same way.
About it?
Yeah, but he came in there with like 15 dudes. They all were trying to be like Kevin. Yeah, he used to hang out with this little fat dude. Thought he could hoop. Dude, I told him one day, you ain't even get three-point line. Anyway, that's the boys. Anyways, good show, like always. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We're turning over to the WTF, Strick, and Clester. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
Now's the time to schedule your air conditioner service check with Bryant. Make sure it's ready to keep you cool and comfortable when you really need it. Call Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community